Let me take you through some of the basics of the Elementor editor. In most cases, we'll just keep this quite simple and you'll just be editing text that's already there. And if I take an example of a page for the tree of business, see this is actually quite a complex page in terms of how it's laid out. So if you can get to grips with something like this, then it would be easy to do the simple pages. So simply we've got a header here with a menu on the top right. You've got content in the middle, which is a grid of images and text. There's a form there, and then there's a footer. So the important thing to realise is that, firstly, when a site is built, that there is templates. So when you go over the top menu bar here, and this top menu bar only comes into play when you're logged in to edit the site. It's not available to the public. If you roll over Edit with Elementor, you'll see below it and the drop down there's lots of templates. And generally we wouldn't touch them. These are put in by the web designer, and they're consistent areas of the website that are consistent throughout every page. For example, that header and the footer, they generally don't change, and generally you'd be editing the middle of the site. So if you actually just click on Edit with Elementor, we're introduced to the editor on the left hand side here as it loads up. And on the left you can see the editor here, and you can see your content. Now the content in the middle has blue borders and some columns and elements of the little edit pen that pops up every time you roll over something. And very simply, if you want to edit any of these elements, then you would just do that. You would, if you were editing the text here, you would just click on the pen mark and the left hand menu changes. And you can see that I've just edited this text area, and it gives me the option to edit within a familiar editable area. And if it's too small for you, you can just grab the little handle here. You can just pull it out here just now to allow you to edit. What it also does in the editor down the bottom here is allow you to see different views. So down here in responsive mode, in this menu bar down the bottom, you can click on that and you can be editing the mobile version. You could be editing the tablet version, and we'll just stick just now with the desktop version. So that gives you simple edit. If I'm talking about editing an image, I would just click on, that's actually a background image. If I'm talking about editing one of the titles here, for example, you can see that I just click on the title and the Wires title is right there. And then the text below it. Again, that's very simple. So in most cases, that's all you would be doing. You'd just be editing text, maybe images, etc. The more complex part of this is how the site lays out. And generally, you wouldn't be touching this. But just to have an appreciation of what's actually going on here is that when you roll over elements, you firstly see a blue section. And if you click on it, you click on this, you see that the box on the left talks about editing a section. Inside the section there's columns, and you can see here that we've got a column structure of a very narrow column, a middle column and a narrow column on the right hand side to create left and right padding. And inside the column we have elements, and the elements are text, images, forms, carousels, tabbed areas, many different elements. And the way we would get the elements is from the top left here in this 9-dot grid here. You click on it and it gives you the available elements. And the designer generally would pick up the elements that they want to use and drag them across to the area that they want to use them. So let's say we wanted text. We would grab the text element and we bring it in and drop it in the place that we want to drop it. It inserts some dummy text, but you can edit that text as you want to. And then up here in the top left you have the content, the style, advanced, and generally what you would be doing there is editing the style, alignment, type of text, text color, etc. And in advanced it's more about positioning and things like that in most cases you wouldn't be touching. It would mostly be working within the content area here. And as simple as before, I can just take that out and just cross it out. You can right click on this and it gives you options to duplicate something It gives you options to shuffle it about. You can drag it and move it. Not that that looks very good at all, but it gives you the option to do all these kind of things and move things about, etc. If you wanted to add an image in here, then again you would just grab the element from the left hand side and you'd bring the image in there. And on the left hand side you've now got the option to choose the image from your media library, and you would pick out an image that maybe works for you and insert it, choose the image size, and you can actually manipulate its alignment. And then in the style, you can do many things like change the width of the image. You can move the image about. If you grab the handle here, you can move the image to any place that you want to move it to. So it's quite versatile. Obviously that doesn't work too well in there. And let me just draw attention to one more thing down the bottom left here. You have a button called History, and at any point during your edit you can click on History and you can see a backtrack of what you've been working with, and you can go back to that position at any point. So I can take myself here and that takes me right back to when I was putting that text box in, or edited started, that's right back at the beginning. So you can undo any work that you've done quite easily if you make a mistake. It also allows you to try things and move back on yourself so that you don't get out of this. When we're finished doing any edits, we simply click Update. So when the Update button is green, it means it needs clicked to be saved. Otherwise it will sit grey. And once you've clicked Update, then you can go and click on the top left and view your page. And when you view your page, I'm going to view the page and it's going to give me a warning because it wants me to save, but I really don't want to save this page because it's live. It takes me back to the front. And the easiest way to find your way about pages is to go to the page itself on the front of the website and then edit it with Elementor from your menu bar at the top. You see that this page is very different. It's just 4 blocks, but each of those blocks, if you click on them, is called an image box, and I can control the image, I can control the text inside, etc. And hopefully that gives you a whistle-stop tour of the Elementor editor.